played by Ian Poulston Davis, is the grandfather of Joseph, William Flanagan, who was a resident of Coronation Street for 5 years from 2010 to 2015. During his time on the ITV soap, he oversaw the birth of Chesney Brown's Sam Aston, eldest son, but tensions between him and his daughter, Katie Armstrong, Georgia Mayfoot, made it harder for him to develop a bond with the youngster. However, almost 7 years after he left the Cobbles for a new life in Aberdeen, it seems he could be set to return as he worries for the well-being of his grandson after he goes missing. In next week's episodes, Chesney will discover his eldest son is being bullied as his partner Gemma Winters, Dolly Rose Campbell, attention turns to the quadruplets. The father of 5 tells his son he wants to help him, but the youngster says speaking to the teachers will only make the matter worse. Against the schoolboy's wishes, Chesney goes ahead with his plans, and as a result, Joseph vanishes from the Cobbles. By the end of the week's installments, the kebab shop worker is giving a television appeal as there is no sign of his son anywhere. Seeing the broadcast, the youngster's grandfather Owen could descend on Weatherfield to find out what happened to make Katie's son run away. As he realizes Chesney has his hands full with the quadruplets and seems to have left Joseph feeling pushed to the side, Owen could take action. Not happy with the way his grandson has been feeling, the grandfather could tell Chesney when the schoolboy returns, he is going to apply for custody. He could join the search to find the youngster and discover where his grandson has been hiding for the last few days. With Chesney part of the custody battle, Owen could stick around for a bit, and given the recent circumstances, he could be given temporary guardianship. Whether or not Owen wins his fight will be decided by the courts, but will Chesney put in the work to ensure his son stays with him? Executive producer for the show, Ian MacLeod, teased the return of a former character when discussing the Brown/Winter family storyline. Speaking with Express.co.uk and other publications, he explained, "I love that family a lot. During the pandemic, we haven't been able to see as much of the children as we would have liked, and we probably still can't. But it felt like we were now able to examine what it's like in that house a bit more, especially if you're Joseph, a sensitive young lad who's already got a certain amount of tragedy in his backstory with the death of his mum. Joseph is essentially in the box room while his parents' attention is lavished entirely on these 4 little screaming children over there. Also, having 5 mouths to feed is incredibly difficult for a family that doesn't bring home an awful lot of money." Ian expressed how Joseph running away will be more about the relationship between him and Chesney than him becoming a wayward child. The executive producer added, "The story causes Joseph to run away, which provokes widespread panic and spins off into another story for neighboring households. But ultimately, it's the beginning of Chesney struggling to deal with his son. I must stress that Joseph is not going to turn into a classic tearaway teen. It's a story that's got much more vulnerability and sensitivity to it. So has not the new David Platt, but it's a really heartbreaking story about a kid having an incredibly hard time." Touching on the return of a former resident, he said, "It also spins off into a story that will see the reintroduction of a character connected to that household, which will provide yet another threat to the stability of the residents of Number 5, he teased. So could Owen be the familiar face making an appearance? Joseph's grandfather trying to get custody of him would certainly be a threat to the whole family dynamic, as there would be one piece of the jigsaw missing." Chesney may well fight to keep hold of his son, but he knows Owen is a formidable force to go up against when he gets going. Having lost Katie, Joseph is the only thing the father of two has to remind him of his youngest daughter and doesn't want him to be in any danger. He wouldn't necessarily think Chesney is a bad father, but he is worried if the youngster vanished for good, Katie would be gone forever. The actor who plays Owen, Ian, spoke out in 2018 about reviving his character and returning to the cobbles he once called home. It was around the time Pat Phelan, Connor McIntyre, was still at large, and Ian said, "People were always asking me if I was going to go back in and finish him off. I would have liked the two of them to have had a final showdown on the cobbles, a high noon encounter. Owen needed to come down from Aberdeen and sort him out once and for all. It could still happen," he teased in an interview with TV Times. So could Owen really be making his way back to the cobbles later this year, and what trouble will be in store for the Brown/Winter clan?